Podcasting since 2005. This is the King of Podcasts Radio Network. KingofPodcasts.com.
Previously on the Wrestling is Real podcast, when I look right there at the end of the match, I look at where Seth Rollins comes up. I don't see him grimacing in pain necessarily, but he gets up.
Rollins hobbling back up into the corner.
And I don't think this is legit. I don't think it was legit at all.
Woo! Hey, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And believe it or not, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it. Because you have to listen to Wrestling is Real. It is the best thing going today. Woo!
The worldwide leader of podcasting excellence. The King of Podcasts Radio Network proudly presents The Wrestling is Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.
I made that prediction and I made that point on episode 941, which was the All-In recap a couple months ago. And here we are once again, Wrestling is Real podcast. We're here to go ahead and recap night one of SummerSlam going on in the Meadowlands MetLife Stadium tonight, East Rutherford, New Jersey. All right, so a couple things to get into right off the bat. Yes, I had called it well before. It didn't look like when I saw before Seth Rollins getting injured against Jinder Mahal. Not the same. I mean, very familiar look to it because of the buckle, but no, not this time around. And what it's worth, Seth Rollins did a good job of trying to sell it. And of course, everybody going out of WWE Unreal, which we talked about on last Wednesday's show, everybody's getting all up and at it about kayfabe being dead. But then, yeah, Seth Rollins played up the kayfabe on this throughout. Out with his daughter, he's in crutches. Same thing coming out to the ring tonight. But why else would he come out the ring with the Money to Make briefcase? Because they wanted to create the impression that the crutches were going to drop to the floor. And he goes, and listen, regardless if he faked the injury or not, that's fine. Because the way it was done was very well done. Look, he's sitting out there and people are enjoying it. And once again, Heist of the Century Part 2, where a good storyline's being told. You know, it's one thing where it's kind of hard to get the main event storylines to be told. But we got one told because ever since CM Punk returned to the company, they have been, Seth Rollins and CM Punk have been at each other's throats. So now we're going to start that feud. Now that Seth Rollins is in with his group, by the way, Bron Breakker looked like he might have gotten his knee injured because he did not come out with Bronson Reed at the end of the night. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed taking themselves in their match earlier in the night, taking a loss to Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. With Bron Breakker not being in the match, I don't know what they're going to be able to do that part, but no matter what, you now have Seth Rollins being World Heavyweight Champion. And no Bron Breakker, but that group now has Bronson Reed as like the heavy with Paul Heyman. That's all we got left with it. Now, the cash in. After we see the crutches drop to the floor, the visual looks great. And my question was, he's going to cash in once we see Paul out there with the briefcase. Well, it's just, how are they going to go and do that? But they, it was already a bad taste in the mouth for me, the fact that Gunther takes another loss at a big pay-per-view, losing a title. It happens too much. 2 straight WrestleManias, and now we get SummerSlam, he loses a belt again. It doesn't look good for him. I mean, I know there's not much else to do for him at this point because Gunther has run through the roster, and no matter if he comes off looking like a champion, he wrestles like a champion. His promos are fine, but they're not good at booking opponents for him. This company's just not good at booking opponents for him. And then when they end up doing things, the setup for the CM Punk Gunther match, I mentioned it on Wednesday night. So we get CM Punk going 2 sides. Okay, he's not sure he can go ahead and beat Gunther. And, he's not sure if he's the same CM Punk like he was before, but he's going to try to do his best. And then he comes off all egotistical and smug when he cuts a promo on Gunther before the match. And Michael Cole in commentary, CM Punk is in the prime at 47 years old. Okay. So CM Punk gets the win in a long match ending by Gunther getting the Crimson Mask as he, I don't know if he got cut hard weight or not, but I guess. And then we get to CM Punk with several go-to-sleeps to win. But of course, this is not one of those typical Money in the Bank cash-ins where I expected, we all expect there's like somebody injured and down on the floor, and that's going to be it. But the way Seth Rollins did it was pretty well done. This is before, so he's getting the cash in now, but he had already hit CM Punk with the briefcase several times, conked him out, rendered him useless, and all he had to do was a curb stomp to finish. There it is. Well, there you go. So that's fine. Listen, that whole setup for Seth Rollins to win tonight was well done. And listen, to have a feud with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, these two will be able to go and carry promos with each other. And you let these guys go. Now, this is a feud. If you wanted to do like where CM Punk went with Drew McIntyre and let these guys get the full feud out, then let's go for that. And the other correlation that somebody other people on Twitter also pointed out is that CM Punk held the belt for 5 minutes, just as long as Drew McIntyre did when he won it, only for CM Punk to screw him over. And the same thing goes with Seth Rollins right here, a 5-minute title reign, only for Seth Rollins to take it back. So that storyline makes all the sense in the world. That's a good thing. So I'm glad we have that storyline now in two capable hands. And the capable hands of two superstars that will pretty easily take care of the main event picture on that side. So I'm all in for that. That's good. That's very good. On the other side, we have John Cena, which we'll talk about in a moment. But for the rest of the night, there wasn't much else to really report on. I mean, Sami Zayn looks like he took Karrion Kross out, and Kross is done after this. Another loss after Saturday Night's main event, or what was it? A Crown Jewel, excuse me. Whatever it was, Night of Champions. Okay, same thing, Saudi Arabia. So Sami Zayn gets the win there, and then they get this match here, and Karrion Kross now had to admit he was wrong about Sami Zayn, so we got the "you were wrong" match, and that's it. So Karrion Kross, I would imagine he's going to be off TV. Where does he go? Who does he go to? As I said before, I only hope that Killer Kross comes in to be something else somewhere. I want the Killer Kross character back, and I want him somewhere else. But I want that character back. Maybe we won't get him back in AEW, or we won't get him in TNA. But I'll tell you, the first place, if he's going to go anywhere, Fort Bauer, if you still got connection to him, bring him back to MLW. I mean it. Or if you can get Karrion Kross, bring back Killer Kross to MLW and do something with him, especially with all the things they're doing right now, where they got Hammerstone back in there and Donovan Dijak. They got some players over there. It's good stuff. I'd like to see some more going on over there in that roster. Because they got good stuff over there. Really do. Among the stars they bring in from Japan or they bring in from Mexico, I like the bulk of their roster. I really do. Short match with Tiffany Stratton to beat Jade Cargill for the women's title. And Jade Cargill has not been given any favors. And I said this before. To bring her into the tag team picture and to keep her in that spot. And then to have her in a feature feud with Naomi. Still, you're not getting Jade Cargill out there to go ahead and work long matches. Tiffany Stratton is a champion. She already struggled with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I wasn't surprised to see them struggle again tonight. Yeah, it didn't look good. The ending was a bit wiry. But Tiffany Stratton gets the win, and Jade Cargill looks bad as a result of this. That's unfortunate. They're just not doing a lot of good off of that. Blueprint Matt Morgan, I haven't heard from him in a while, but he made some pretty standard comments out there on both of the Sami Zayn, Killer Kross, and Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill matches. He said this, quote, "I see this as a huge Sammy fan. I don't understand how WWE continues to beat the self-made man, Killer Kross. You can hear it when the most beloved babyface in the company pinned him. The fans were not feeling it. No disrespect to Sammy. Second, don't put Jade Cargill in matches if you're going to pin her and not protect her. Tiffany has the most average promos of any of the women in that division, respectfully. She's done nothing to grow the title. I think Jade could, and this finish was a mistake. You don't beat somebody that looks like Jade Cargill. If you're not ready to go through full throttle with her, then don't book her in matches. That's the outcome. She had a great match tonight, and I had a great showing, but this does not help with these visual losses. Right. She should not be eating pins. There is no reason why Jade Cargill should be taking pins here without a title, by the way. And I was afraid that this company was going to do that to her in the singles run. She was protected. She might have been green in AEW, but they did a great job of protecting her all the way through. And they're not doing it here. So somebody needs to be paying attention to the fact that Jade Cargill's just not being used right. Not being used. She's got the look. She got the entrance. She's got it. And she don't even get to go and cut promos like she should. Well, let's just make that clear, too. The fire this woman has, they're just not letting her have it. You know what it is? Naomi's getting that kind of push. Naomi's the one getting that kind of attitude. She's the one that's getting what Jade Cargill should be getting. And that's no knock to Naomi. I mean, she earned her way back into the company as Trinity. She earned her way back with that year-long Knockouts title run. No question. So for her to come back in here, prove herself, chip on the shoulder, yeah, she deserves what she's getting right here. She's got a good gimmick going. Good on her. She'll have a great match tomorrow night with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. No doubt about it. That I will say that for clear. Now, but Tiffany Stratton, Matt Morgan's right. I don't think she's done much to move the needle. I haven't been impressed so much by the matches she's had to kind of turn things around over Trish Stratus or Charlotte Flair. No, I don't feel it. I don't feel it. It's just not there for me. So unfortunate. Now, also, SummerSlam tonight, they were trying to work their way up to try to get the 50,000 tickets for tonight's event. They did quote 53,000, but yeah, it was shy of 50 before yesterday. And then we looked today and everything kind of worked itself out. Now, okay, they got over 50,000 for tonight. And the current setup was for 50,000. They have broken over 50,000 for tomorrow night. That was already done before. Obviously, what they're going to be doing tomorrow night, that's going to be very clear. Among the other matches, you also had Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. All right. Well, this match, Jelly Roll, they made it a lot about him. And the fact that Logan Paul, with the Prime drinks, does all the Stone Cold, smash the drinks and hits to the announce table Jelly Roll, who takes the shot, legit. I mean, I don't know why he's doing it for. I mean, he's not necessarily going to be... I mean, he's out there, he's a celebrity, and he's showing, okay, I can be resilient in the ring. He's not going to go ahead and, wow like Bad Bunny with any particular wrestling moves. Not necessarily. Not with the limited training that he has. But, if this means the marketing works out and Jelly Roll gets some camera shots into this and there's a lot of press about it, okay, let's see what they do with that and if it's going to make much of a difference or not. That's pretty much it. There was not only the World Heavyweight title changing hands twice tonight, you did have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss now as the new women's tag team champions over Raquel and Roxanne. Care of that. Okay. And they did try to show a little bit of a tease that Charlotte might turn on Alexa Bliss eventually. But, I think people are really happy to go see these two with the belts. Fine. It's kind of like where Jade Cargill and Naomi, Bianca Belair were last year, where you just had really two big stars holding those belts just to kind of do something with. And it gives us something to do. So that's fine. Whatever opponents you want in that mix, and that works for me. That's fine. But that's all that happened for tonight at SummerSlam Night 1. I will be in the movie theater at my Regal, and it looks like it's going to have a pretty good house for tomorrow night. I'll be there to go and watch it there. That'll be cool. But now, looking into tomorrow night, let's just make sure we go ahead and run through what we already have coming up as the plan of the card coming up for tomorrow night, which will be the better night still, even though they did some very memorable things tonight, specifically with that World Heavyweight title. You have Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, triple threat match for the Women's World title. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. No DQ, no count-out last chance match for the Women's IC title. Sol Sikoa, Jika Fatu, Steel Cage for the U.S. title. Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles for the IC title. Wyatt Six will defend the tag team championships in a 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match. TLC against Andrade Ray Phoenix, DIY, Fraxium, Motor Machine Guns, and Street Profit. I imagine that TLC match starts off the night tomorrow night, if they're going to do anything with it. That's where I think they would go. And then you finish off with John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and probably put that Women's World title match. You lead up to that prior to, but they could also start with the Women's World title to start off the night, like they started off WrestleMania night 1. They could just go that route, or night 2, I guess it was, right? So they might just go that route again, and that's okay if they do that route. I can see them doing it. A little more extreme into these matches for tomorrow night. Let's go and see what they're going to do with that. One thing I want to bring up here before is what John Cena did with his promo leading up to SummerSlam last night on SmackDown. I was actually kind of surprised by that. So let's get to that real quick. I was actually kind of surprised by the promo that was being done. But here we go. John Cena automatically just turned himself face. Now, people want to go ahead and ask, do people believe that this is a ruse? I don't think so. But I must say, we need to go and play back the masterclass that is John Cena, that really took a bad storyline and a bad heel turn at that. And I believe he just turned it back around. And I do believe that Cody Rhodes turns heel tomorrow. Would be good for me. It would work out to me the way I would think how it looks. That's fine. I think that works out. But this promo tonight, or last night with John Cena, needs to be mentioned because this is John Cena becoming back to himself, and was the only thing you could possibly do is make a correction on this really rough, really roughly managed and put together, which was focused on Unreal. When you see what they did with that booking committee, come up with that idea for John Cena to go ahead and just retcon the whole thing and just turn it back to himself was the best thing he could possibly do.
Cody Rhodes, I told you that I was exhausted and that a match at SummerSlam would be too difficult for me. You didn't listen. You assaulted me. You forged my signature. And you forced me into one of the most dangerous matches in WWE on one of its grandest stages for its biggest championship. I only got one thing left to say to you.
And here's the change of the heel turn to face. Just by saying 2 words.
Thank you. Because that was just the boot in the ass that I needed. For 25 years, day in and day out, I have forged a reputation off of hard work, honesty, and respect. And I now realize that 5 months ago, I flushed it all down the toilet, chasing false glory when I bought into somebody's crazy idea to make shocking TV. And we did. We shocked the world. We made great TV, but then the dust settles. And then everybody goes back to their normal lives, and the people that were supposed to be on my team, they left. And they left me alone.
Brock and Travis Scott.
Trying to pretend to be something I'm not.
That's for the bad storyline that he had to go and try to make the most out of.
I want to leave here with this. After my last match, I want to take this home with me. But it's not because I want to ruin wrestling. Jeez, you guys know I don't want to ruin wrestling. I love wrestling. I want to take this home with me so after I'm gone, you guys don't forget about me.
People want to cheer him. They want to cheer him.
I was so hung up on how you might see me tomorrow that I forgot to realize how stupid I am acting today. And y'all tried to tell me, over and over again, you tried to tell me, and I didn't listen. Cody, you tried to tell me, and I didn't listen. But you did what a good friend should do. You forced me to face it. You forced me into a fight. Not a match, a fight. Something that's gonna be brutal. Something that is gonna force me to dig down and be who I really am. Something that if I don't show up for war, I shouldn't show up at all.
That's Babyface Cena for you.
Mark your calendar, Cody, August 1st, 2025, Newark, New Jersey, the day that John Cena came back to the WWE.
I'm sorry. This is not a throwaway to a heel turn that he's just going to turn back around and he's going to go turn back. The only thing that makes sense, if he was going to go ahead and put this as a ruse, is that The Rock comes back and actually executes the heel turn storyline where he started with the whole selling of the soul. And The Rock returns at SummerSlam to do just that. With no Travis Scott, because now there's the rumor that Travis Scott and WWE are persona non grata. They're at odds with each other now. So I guess Travis Scott is no longer going to be anywhere involved near a WWE ring anytime soon. So my guess is John Cena makes the switch here just in time for SummerSlam. One half of the turn complete. Now, Cody has to change. And I think that's what we get. And it's fine to do it. And if you're going to make this heel turn, make it happen at SummerSlam. Make it at a big pay-per-view. So do it. So make the switch now. That works for me. And Cody, even with the mannerisms, just made me feel like, yeah, this is fine. Let's go for it. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. And we're going to leave it short. Because we're going to come back and go and do a full comprehensive tomorrow. And see what the night 2 of SummerSlam brings to us and see how it all turns out. But anyway, we'll leave it all over there. Thank you for tuning in, finding out the show. And as you always do, kingofpodcasts.com is where you find all the content. And we'll come back and do this again tomorrow. Enjoy night 2 of SummerSlam. And remember, come back for another Wrestling Show podcast because wrestling needs us.